Summer League, Summer League, Summer League, Summer League, Summer League, Summer League, Summer League. There was more Summer League last night. I watched it. Did you watch Summer League last night?
No, I'm California classic out, to be honest with you. Is this an honesty podcast? It is. Like I'm ready for Vegas Summer League. They're drawing out the California Classic just a bit too long. And I don't even what do they call it? The Salt Lake Showcase? The soak case, some might refer to it as. I'm just over it.
Mm, mm. Okay, so you didn't watch, but we're gonna try and break down the winners
No,
from
no,
Summer
no.
League
I did.
last
I sorry.
night.
I did, but I only watched. In fairness, I'm not gonna lie here. I watched the Jazz game, and I watched parts of the Thunder game.
Okay. I had the 4 TV screen setup going last night. So I had, because there was overlapping games for the first time in a while. It felt good. It felt like a little taste of what college football season could bring my household. Let me tell you, it was spectacular. I had the wife watching Your Honor, a Netflix show. I had a sleepers video playing on the top right, and then I had boom, boom, Summer League on the two left. It was lovely.
You're not locked in on Your Honor?
I was watching with her. Like she had the volume. The volume's the power in my basement. So I was locked in. I don't love the show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm willing to give it a shot. Anyways, Summer League takeaways. What's your biggest takeaway from Wednesday night's action in Summer League?
That Isaiah Collier ends up being like, I think he's gonna end up being like one of the steals of the draft. He's gonna be one of those classic like he was the number one recruit, but like the situation with his college team wasn't that great. But you realize that he was the number one recruit for a reason. I think he's been great all summer league. Keontae George is too good to be in summer league, and also like my second takeaway I think is that the Thunder may need to start being mentioned with like draft winners, and I don't think they were being mentioned before. So I think both Dylan Jones and AJ Mitchell have been great.
Mm. Okay. I love the Dylan Mitchell. We talked about him or the Dylan Jones the other day. Yes. We talked about him a little bit. I don't see the Collier stuff as strongly as you do. Like I thought he was fine last night. 12-3. Okay. He had some moments. Like he was efficient. I'm not super used to that with Isaiah, but I did like from watching that game, I was more impressed with the actual Jazz players. Like Taylor Hendricks looked pretty good. Keontae George was making shots. It's fun when he's making shots. I would be driven insane if I had to watch 82 games of Keontae George, though. That guy, I know we loved him in college. He is like an all-time just out for me guy.
But we love those guys.
Him and Bryce Sensabaugh being on the same team should not work at all. And
But
it's
but Greg, it makes me happy.
it's working. It does make you happy. He was great last night, 31 points, 5 assists, and just when he scores and he's on, Keontae is like really special. It's kind of Tyrese Maxey, but a little more fun and creative. Like he can just heat up NBA Jam in fuego mode. Kyle Filipowski continues to struggle. Teehee. That's not great. Your thoughts?
He just looks like out of place out there, to be honest. Like he looks like frail, skinny. Um, he can't catch the ball. He looks like he's thinking of all the tweets that were sent out about him on draft night when he's hooping.
Yeah,
Now,
I feel bad,
it
and
has me like concerned for like I feel bad for him at this point.
I was gonna say I feel like the general consensus on him right now is kind of like, damn, we're sad for him, and like we're oddly pulling for him, which is how I feel. But yeah, he doesn't look right. I also am cooking up the take. Flip should have been back at Duke. Flip should have been a 4-year
I,
Duke guy.
I swear to God, Greg, I'm not lying to you. Last night and watching that, I was like, why is like Flip not back at Duke, like making $2 million and
Yeah,
being at Cameron Indoor?
Flip should have just literally done the Hunter Dickinson path. Just end up playing as long as you can in college for as long as you can. Be the villain, have fun, make money. Like, and Duke would have been insane if Flip came back, flip and flag in the front court. Goodness. Um,
Flag and flip.
Speaking of Jazz players who look bad, Cody Williams may be a disaster.
Yeah. What can I ignore that any longer?
No, because we have to talk about it. We also have to give some credit to Brian Ralph because Ralph was all over this when we did our NBA prospect stuff. Ralph had Cody Williams ranked in like the 30s, and I think you had Cody Williams as your number one overall player on the big board.
Yeah, that makes sense. He was a team second high plus 13. There we go.
He was
Thank
0 for 8 from the floor, 0
thank
for
you,
4
plus
from
minus.
3, 2 points, 2 assists,
No
and
turnovers.
1 foul. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody tweeted this last night. I don't remember who it was, but they basically said Cody Williams continues to be the least noticeable basketball player of all time, which I started thinking about it. I watched a good amount of Colorado. You really didn't notice Cody Williams very much. And now here we are in the NBA. It's like he has a brother and he's out there. Honestly, Cody Williams is who I thought Bronny James would be.
I was waiting for you to actually make that connection.
Yeah.
Is Cody Williams a real nepotism ad here?
Is Cody Williams actually Bronny James? Is LeBron Cody Williams' dad? Speaking of Bronny James, what did you think of Bronny last night? You said you didn't list the Lakers game as one you watched. So did you watch it? Did you watch highlights or anything?
I watched the highlights of it, and I watched highlights, condensed game, and box score watch for this game. Bronny was out there. There was he's supposed to be like a defensive guy, but every clip that I saw, he was getting kind of cooked by Alondas Williams. Now, granted, Alondas Williams is actually good. Like he was actually really good in the G League last season. I actually think Alondas Williams is an NBA player, so it's not like he's getting cooked by some random. But you look at the box score, and you see the 1 for 3, only 3 points, but like not to do like the stretch for Bronny thing, but like in this game, you have 5 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Like, isn't that kind of what you want from Bronny? Like, he's not going to be a guy that just has these explosive like performances. But in this game, in 29 minutes, I think that he was good enough defensively. He rebounded the ball, had some assists, some steals, some defensive stuff with the block. So like, uh, a good bounce back performance, I guess I would call it.
I'm gonna finger wag at you again. This is the second time I'm finger wagging at this because I don't like when people do this generally, but I mean this. I watched every second of this game. I had a Lakers money line bet on this game, which is why I was so in tune to this. Bronny was really good defensively, like really good. And I don't like, given how you are saying you watched last night, you watched the highlights, you saw the clips, you box score watch. I don't think you saw any of what the good was. Probably there were a couple plays that went viral that were great defensive plays that you probably saw the clips of. But on a possession by possession basis, Bronny was everywhere defensively in this game. Like, he was awesome. So I am starting to look at him a little bit differently just because of that, because he belongs. He belongs defensively where he is right now in summer league. I don't know if that means he's an NBA defender. I don't know if that means he's an NBA rotation defender. And he is so as ready as he is defensively there, he is equally as far away offensively. Like he gets the ball, he doesn't know what to do with it. He makes the right reads and he like will step into shots because he knows he should take them, but there's no confidence, there's no ability to make them that I've seen. He looks sped up, like an elbow jumper. You just know it's not going in from him right now. He was 1 for 3 and he stood in the corner most of the game. Like that's how they use him. They just tell him to stand in the corner and then they play 4-on-5. So I don't know what you do with that, but defensively was truly special. And he did finish with 3 blocks, 2 steals. He was guarding bigger players than him. I thought he was phenomenal on the defensive end.
Can I ask you 2 things to confirm since you watched this whole game?
Yep.
Was Kashad Johnson as good as he looked?
It didn't feel that way watching it live,
It
but
did.
he
Okay.
he got a lot of like what I like about Keshad Johnson is all of his production comes without it being designed or loud. Like, we're not giving Keshad Johnson the ball and getting out of the way. If he ends up with 20 and 8, it's because he got like tip ins and out hustled you and earned it.
Right.
He was everywhere in that sense.
Okay. Second, are we at all concerned that Dalton Knecht can't get past people?
Dalton Knecht was really good offensively last night. He still did have the issue of like, okay, when you give him the ball and you try to go 1-on-1, he's going nowhere. That happened a
Yeah.
ton. In
Okay.
fact, the Lakers were up pretty much this entire game. They were up 6 with about 2 minutes left. And then Dalton Knecht got ripped at half court and dribbled into a horrible contested fadeaway clank. Like, it was time for Dalton Knecht to go win the game. He had been the best offensive player on the floor. Dalton Knecht couldn't do shit. So I think like that is probably okay for how his role projects. Like, if he is just going to play with LeBron and AD and be a floor spacer, this was a really good sign. Like he can do that. But if you're ever going to give him the ball or ever hope there's something more there as like a primary guy, I think it's going to fail. That's just not who he is. Like we're at the point now where I'm like, he ain't going to be Austin Reeves. He ain't going to be Gordon Hayward. He ain't going to be that. He's not dynamic enough. He's going to be Doug McDermott, and that better be okay. And that might be what the Lakers drafted him for at 17.
That kind of hurts me if he's Doug McDermott.
It makes me wonder how this worked at Tennessee, honestly,
Yeah.
because he can't go anywhere. It's crazy.
Rick Barnes masterclass.
Colin Castleton was great. Would have loved to see Khalil Ware against Colin Castleton, but thank God for summer league load management. Am I right? Zach Edey also didn't play, second consecutive game. So we're now load managing Zach Edey to the point he's taking back-to-back games off in summer league. Disgusting.
I hate it. Play games. Hopefully none of that happens in Vegas, but it probably will, right?
It's most definitely going to happen. It's really gross.
Right.
And then Keon Ellis was like awesome for the Kings. He had 30, 7 fouls to go along with that. I love that. But the Warriors were like they should win a lot of games. They have the two guys from the select team down there now, Trace Jackson Davis and Pajemski. And those guys were okay. I kind of expected them to step in and be a little better, honestly. But the Warriors were up this whole game. They're now 3-0 in this California Classic. And the Kings like stormed back, made this crazy comeback attempt with Keon Ellis hooping. But Warriors won by 1. That was the most entertaining game of the night, though.
Not sure why Keon Ellis is playing the summer league.
Yeah, just to get his 30. I don't know.
I mean, I guess, but like this is his third summer league, and I guess he's been doing it. And I mean, he was a contributor on a playoff team, like was in the rotation. I just didn't really see that. Shout out to Ethan Thompson once again having a good game.
Yeah, Jared McCain, 2 points, 1 turnover, 0 assists, 1 for 9 from the floor, 0 for 3 from 3 in 17 minutes. Are you concerned?
The only thing that concerns me is that from what I saw, like physicality seems to get to him a little bit. Like guys were like getting in his shit and he wasn't able to handle it.
My concern would just be this. McCain has looked really good through the first 2 games. I think this is the first game he's played against a team who played real NBA players. Like this was the Jazz with Walker, Kessler, Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks. And you were 1 for 9 with a turnover and no assist. Like, there's bad games, and then there's like, I am incapable of contributing games. And that was McCain last night. So I'm keeping my eye on that because I was a McCain skeptic a little bit. Thought he was great first 2 games, but he was great against mostly guys who will be G League or overseas. The Jazz are basically playing the Jazz's starting lineup, and McCain was incapable of contributing. So.
Them dudes really played Walker, Kessler, and Keontae George 30 minutes along with Taylor Hendricks.
And they almost lost to a team led by Doughton and Council.
Yeah, the Jazz are like going for it. They didn't play a lot of guys. They only played 8.
Yeah. Weird times in summer league. We need the real summer league to get here. I don't like California. Car, you know what I love about you?
That I'm handsome?
You're reliable. I can count on you. You know, honestly, you remind me of Aaron Henry a little bit. Remember when their back was against the wall, nothing was going right, and man just showed up every day. He didn't make excuses. There were no problems. There were just solutions.
Sounds like me.
That's you. And it also reminds me of Duncan Mechanical Solutions, because if you're looking for quality furnace repair, look no further than the heating and air experts that you can trust. Comfort and quality are their standard. They're an HVAC company that serves Northeast Indiana and Southern Michigan, whether it's heating and air conditioning, plumbing, kitchen and bath remodeling, or emergency services when you need them most. Duncan Mechanical Solutions has reliable service that you can count on. Cart, remember when your basement almost exploded?
I remember when my basement almost exploded. I remember when my furnace itself was acting funny. I remember when my AC was acting funny. I wish I had Duncan in my back pocket. I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been anywhere in Northern Indiana or Southern Michigan that hasn't been perfectly cool or perfectly warm, depending on when the day called for. And that's because of Duncan Mechanical Solutions. They are the presenting sponsor for the month of July. Shout out to Duncan Mechanical Solutions. Go to duncanmechanicalsolutions.com to learn more.